Hi friend and welcome. Today I'm going to be recreating one of my most popular videos on YouTube, which was my storage hacks video for Disney Dreamlight Valley. Now that video is like 2 years old. It's really old and a lot has changed about storage and how we utilize storage in Disney Dreamlight Valley. So today I'm going to walk you through all of the different storage options we have. We have tons of chests that we can use now, some of which you wouldn't even know is an actual storage chest. And I'm also going to walk you through some storage solutions. So whether you should be making a floating island or renovating your home to, fit all of your storage, it's totally up to you, but we have options now and I'm going to share my personal recommendation as well. So let's go ahead and get organized. Okay, so as you can see here, these are all of the current items that we have in the game that act as storage chests. Now let's start with the OG storage chest. I did cover this in my hacks video, so I do recommend you guys go and check that video out because it still has some really valuable information. But this is an infinity chest that it's like cloud storage. So whatever you put in one of these is going to be in all of these, only this specific type of chest. So the best way I like to describe it is like an additional backpack. I use this by pulling it out of my inventory, putting a bunch of resources in it that I want to put away later, and then picking it back up and putting it back in my inventory. Now you can also place these next to your wells and then place another one inside your storage rooms, making it easy for you to drop off resources really quickly, run into your storage room, and then put those resources away in the room without, having to overload your character's storage. So that's something that you can choose to do if you want to use these chests. Now, the next chests that we have in the game are the types of chests that are purchasable, or you earn them as gifts or rewards from different characters or NPCs that you level up in the game. So this storage chest, for example, is a Sleeping Beauty chest that came with the Storybook Belt expansion pack. It comes in 3 different sizes: small, medium, and large. I just use the large because it comes with the most inventory space, which we'll talk about in a second. This one is actually a gift that you get from Scrooge from leveling him up to 10, and you can then purchase these from Scrooge's shop. And then lastly, you have the craftable storage chest, which means you get these either also from quests or even your villagers after leveling them up. Now this one is the OG chest. It actually is an upgraded version from the original, like rounded white and brown chest. I get asked that question a bunch in that hacks video that I told you about. This one, that chest is actually not available anymore. It was just overhauled to look like this instead, which I know some people really don't like. But yeah, these are crafted using resources, like I mentioned. Some of them, such as this red cooler chest, is crafted by completing events. So you get the recipe from doing the in-game event, and then you'll be gifted the recipe so that you can craft as many of these as you want. Although these craftable chests all require different resources. Like this one, like I mentioned, being from an event, might require things such as s'mores or eggs or, some kind of resource you gather through the event. This white one, for example, is craftable, but it requires a ton of Dreamlight. And then you have this one that just requires regular resources. This is actually a gift from Aladdin, which is kind of a spoiler, but once you get Aladdin to level 10, you will unlock the ability to craft this chest. Now, when it comes to crafting these chests, they do require different resources. If you're a beginner starting out in the game, you're likely going to make a lot of these small chests because they only require softwood and stone, making them one of the easiest to craft with minimal resources. Now, if you scroll down, you'll find the medium chest here and also the large chest, which are the upgraded versions of the small chest. I personally do not recommend making these at all. They not only require resources, but as you can see, the medium chest requires 1,000 Dreamlight. The large chest requires 5,000 Dreamlight. Now, if you're someone swimming in Dreamlight, then great, craft them if you really like the look of these. I personally would not. I would not waste my Dreamlight on these chests, especially because we have chests such as the Aladdin chest, which let me get to that one. So here's the Aladdin chest. This is the large version coming with 48 slots of inventory space that require no Dreamlight and just basic resources that you can find around your valley. And it's actually minimal resources. These resources are so easy to gather and find, so being able to make them with so little requirements actually makes this one of the best chests that you can have in the game. And to be honest, they just look better. Now, in addition to the storage chests back here that you can craft, some of these storage chests can actually be expanded. So for example, if you have a storage chest that only has 2 rows, you can actually use Dreamlight to expand them, and I'll show you that right now. We're gonna ignore that it's thunderstorming in my valley because You can see it only comes with 2 rows of storage, but now DDB has allowed us to expand a certain storage chest using Dreamlight. This is the newest feature that just came out this year in 2025, depending on when you're watching this video. And you can expand it using Dreamlight. So now it goes to 32 slots, and then I can spend another 4,000 Dreamlight to expand this to 48 slots. Now again, I think this truly just depends on who you are. I personally would not recommend expanding using Dreamlight. It feels like just a waste when you can purchase or craft storage chests that have the full inventory slots, like the large Aladdin chest, for example. So I think you take that with a grain of salt. You can do whatever you want, of course, with your game, especially depending if you like the aesthetic of this storage chest, you want to use it, but it is an option to expand certain storage chests. Unfortunately though, these chests, such as Scrooge's chest that's gifted to you, cannot be expanded. I'm really hoping this is something they change in the future and allow us to expand, because the only time I would suggest expanding a storage chest is if you have a themed storage room like the one that I'm showing right now. I'll just put up a clip in the video. This is my gym storage room, and I have Scrooge's chests in here, and there are a lot of chests that are completely filled, and I would love to be able to add more to them, but I can't. So if we were able to expand these, I would actually spend the Dreamlight to expand this chest specifically, because it goes with the aesthetic that I'm making for the room. So I'm hoping that's something they'll add in the future. Let's talk about these miscellaneous items. Now, not all of these are actual storage chests, so you actually have to interact with some of these items by just placing them down and checking them to see if they will act like storage. So for example, this wooden side table is not a storage chest, it's just a decorative item. And like this bookshelf, for example, is not a storage chest, it's a decorative item. However, most of the refrigerators in the game do act as a storage chest, and you'll even see that there are a lot of dressers that act as actual storage chests as well. Now this is important because it'll allow you to really make aesthetic or like themed storage rooms if that's something you're interested in, and I'll show that to you a little later on in the video. One of the ones that I want to share in this video, because I get asked about it all the time, is actually this aquarium. And I'm going to insert a picture of my own personal like aquarium storage room, just to kind of show you what it looks like. But this is a storage chest. You can actually store items in here. A lot of people don't know that. Now I use it as an aquarium, like I said. So I actually store all of the fish that you can catch around the valley in these aquariums and utilize it as a storage chest for those ingredients. I really love that this is an option. There's actually another aquarium in the game, but it is not a storage chest, so it's really kind of finicky. You have to play with the different items to see how they'll act. Okay, you also have your refrigerators here, your dressers, like I mentioned, just showing off a couple that can be used as storage. Now the only issue with some of these is that they have different storage capacities. So for example, this dresser comes with 2 rows of storage, while this dresser comes with 48 different storage slots. So it's like a full large storage chest essentially. So again, another thing you kind of just have to play around and see. Same thing with refrigerators. Most of the refrigerators I've seen come with only 2 rows of storage space. Now these two here are actually my personal favorite miscellaneous like storage chests. Again, looking at them, you would just assume that these are decorative objects. These two will actually act as storage chests. And again, I didn't find this out until I was shopping around the Storybook Vale and found these in Scrooge's shop. And I was like, oh, these are cute little kitchen items. But they actually are storage items too. So again, just reiterating, make sure you test kind of like everything. But these are really beautiful. You can make a beautiful kitchen using these items, and also turn the kitchen into like an ingredients or meal storage room for your home or something like that. So just be mindful. If you ever see these in the shop, they're actually storage as well. Now, as for my personal recommendations and my favorite storage chest overall is actually the Sleeping Beauty storage chest, the large version that you can get from the Storybook Vale DLC. You can purchase these in Scrooge's shop. So the downside to this one is essentially you have to wait until it appears in your shop or in a chest in order to find it. So, but when you do, I mean, it is the most aesthetic in my personal opinion. This is a beautiful wooden version of a storage chest, and I think it looks good pretty much everywhere. But if you want another version that's really easy to obtain, you just need to get Aladdin and Jasmine into your valley and then level up Aladdin to level 10. They will gift you this storage chest, and then you can use the large version of it to have 48 rows of storage, and it's easy to craft. It takes very little resources like I showed you earlier. So these two chests, in my opinion, are my personal favorite to use because they don't require heavy resources or materials, just star coins and sticks and stones basically. So I would definitely recommend these two. or trying to get to a place where you can unlock these two, especially because one is a rustic vibe while one is a more expensive looking vibe. So this one could be great for gym rooms, while this one could be used for flower storage rooms and so on. So now that we've talked about storage chests and the actual objects that you can use to like clean out your inventory and store things away, let's move on to storage solutions, because the community has become so creative with the different types of storage solutions for your storage chests. Now there are 3 different options, one being a storage island, 2 being a storage house, just one house to store all things, and 3 being storage homes, plural. Okay, so multiple different storage houses. And I'm going to show you the difference between all 3 of these options right now. So here we are on a floating island, and I just want to give a big shout out to Kel's Bells. Thank you so much for letting me come to your beautiful floating island so that I can show off a storage solution. This one is a combination of storage and also a farm island, which is very common. This is something a lot of people do, combining all of the growable resources with storage chest and, you know, different resources. So this is an example of that, and it looks absolutely stunning. As you can see, we have the Aladdin storage chest back here, and we have everything we need. So there's all of the different ingredients. A lot of people have done this with farm islands like this, but we also see just storage. So storing every single resource in the game using different storage chests. But look at this, you have all of your farm items. So every growable resource will have its own corresponding chest here that corresponds with the ingredients that are being grown behind. And then you also have this little storage section here for different food items. So they're using it as a combination for different growable resources and, you know, resources you can eat and stuff too. So again, the benefit of these storage islands is that, one, they're super fast to travel to. You'll just open up your map and land on your storage island, and you can just put all of your resources away pretty quickly. Another one is also the fact that you can decorate. There's so much space up here, so you probably won't be able to fill it from end to end with just storage chests, but you can make a big area for storing literally everything you own in the game, and then also decorate around it, which I absolutely love. So if you're looking for the quickest way to store your resources and stuff, I would say that a floating island is probably the best option for that, because it's just a click of a button and everything you need to store will be all in one place. Now, if you want to learn how to make your own farming kind of like floating island or farm storage island, I recommend checking out Steph's video. She provides like a graphic for, you know, your plots when you're farming and creating the island and everything like that. So if you're looking for some inspiration, definitely make sure you check that video out. So now we're going to talk about storage houses, and it's exactly what the name suggests that it is. So it's basically one house that's used to store every single item in the game, including items from your DLC. So basically each floor of the house contains, you know, different items from different areas in the valley. So for example, like this is your main room. So you have the main room and then the 3 additional rooms, and maybe all 4 of these rooms for you contain everything in your main valley. So for example, this is like my potions room, and I use the storage back in here for storing away like different potions and stuff that I have. And then as I run into another room down here, I will store all of the forageable ingredients in like a greenery room. I'm actually in the process of redoing this room because it was one of the first ones I created, and it's not decorated the best in my opinion. But yeah, I store all of my resources in here. You guys have already seen the gym storage room that I have. That's actually on the other side. So this is my gym storage room, and back here I have a storage room for kitchen ingredients, and this again is for all of the main valley. Now, I don't use the one storage house solution. I use multiple storage houses, which I'll show you that here in a second. But if you wanted to use the main, like one house as a storage solution, then every floor could have different resources and ingredients, and you'll also use different floors to store the items from DLCs. So maybe floor 2 will be for Eternity Isle resources, floor 3 will be customized for Storybook Vale, and any DLCs that come in the future, you'll continue to add floors onto your house. So the benefit of this is that it's one area, one-stop shop. It's in your main house, making it easy to come and put away your resources. It's obviously not going to be as fast as maybe a floating island, because you have to come into your house and maybe travel to different floors, but it's really still a very quick option for putting resources away. So again, if you just want one singular place that will be in every single DLC and every biome, then you can do that as well. Now, last but not least is the storage houses solution, and this is my personal favorite, but it is probably the most work because you're going to have multiple places that you store ingredients, and I've themed my houses by DLC. So basically I have my main house right here. This is my main house in the valley, and it stores all of the resources for the valley specifically. However, if we come to Eternity Isle, I have one of the premium shop like house skins that you can get, and I've put this here on the docks. And this is specifically my Eternity Isle storage house. So it has only the resources that are specific to Eternity Isle in here. As you can see, it's themed to be, you know, based around a ship, which is kind of like the aesthetic part of it for me, which is what I really like. If you come back here, I have a kitchen, and this stores all of Eternity Isle's, you know, new forageables and fish. So you can see all of that on the tables. I actually need to upgrade the storage chest in this room as well, but yeah, I feel like it's really cute because it's aesthetic, and I don't know, I just like the fact that everything's separated by DLC. Like the houses are separated by DLC. For me, it scratches an itch in my brain, but again, that means I do need to come to these individual houses to drop off my resources. But for me, I look at it as a way to be able to kind of visit the DLCs again once I've completed the content, so they're not just sitting there never being used. So that's kind of the benefit there. And the same thing applies for Storybook Vale. This is my Storybook Vale themed storage house, and as you can see, you come in here and it is themed to Storybook Vale, and I have all of the like harvestables or forageables, not harvestables, I'm sorry, this room is forageables, so anything that I am gathering around on the ground and stuff. We have snippets in here. You also have the kitchen area, so this is all of the fish and different food items that you can collect in Storybook Vale in here. And then I even have my flower storage room here. This is where I'll store all of my flowers and stuff like that too. So again, I love this idea because it's very themed, but again, it is more work in terms of dropping items off, although that was made easier with a recent update, which I'll share with you now. So I'm back in my main valley now, and with the recent update, we're now able to put down house skins in multiple places. So originally, if I had the house skin in Eternity Isle, like the ship, then I wasn't able to place that same one in my valley too. So it can only be in one place is essentially what I'm trying to explain. But now I can take those house skins and I can place them down in my valley. And the benefit of this is actually that they keep all of your resources inside. So here I am at the ship. This is down on Dazzle Beach. If I come inside, I will find all of my Eternity Isle resources still in my main valley. But this is the option that I like the best because it allows me to keep things separated, and it also allows me to be really aesthetic and on theme for the DLCs, which is more important for me personally. So it's actually been made a lot easier now that we can put these house skins down in our valley as well as being in the DLCs, and it just works overall for me. So those are the three options, and they are great solutions no matter what you choose. It's just whatever you want to make it easier for yourself. So there you have it, friends. That is storage for DDV in 2025. As you can see, we have a lot more options and things have changed drastically. If you've enjoyed the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might find it helpful. And I also have some videos, including that hacks video from 2 years ago, linked on the screen. So maybe check one of those out. And until next time, I will catch you all in the next one. Peace!